Yes, indeed, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the First Class, Second Place podcast. I'm your host, Jason Enrique, and we got another first class guest up in the building today. But before we continue, I just got to take a little sip right here, the courtesy of the guest right here, and also let everybody know that we are live at Bravery Studios in Garfield, New Jersey. Shout out to Najee Beyond the Glass. Hope everything's going well, brother, and I hope everybody at home is doing well as well. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, another first class guest up in the building today. Viral sensation on the internet, larger than life character. You could tell from his outfit and everything. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, RX Superstar is in the building. What is going on, RX?
Cheers to that intro right there. Cheers to that intro right there, because he's not lying. He's not lying at all. Yeah. So, cheers, my brother.
Salud. And also, as I mentioned before, I became a Jameson fan because of my father, and who's unfortunately no longer with us. But every time I drink Jameson, it's an honor to him. So, much love to you.
We dedicating this show to his dad. You heard?
Absolutely.
Salud.
Thank you so much. Yep.
Salud, papi.
And that's a good starting point right there. I mean, obviously, besides your wardrobe and the way you come off, I mean, the one thing that screams out to me more than anything is New Yorker. So let's start there. Where were you born and raised as far as New York is concerned?
So I was born in the Bronx originally.
BX?
BX all day, every day. And then later on, I grew up in Harlem because we had to move, because at that time, the Bronx was like very dangerous and stuff. This is the 80s.
Yeah.
If you know about the 80s and if you watch the movies around there, it was a very bad time. You had to watch yourself. Your kid could get snatched, your purse could get snatched at the same time. Even if you coming out of McDonald's with your parent, your Happy Meal would get snatched up. And I would have been mad. I would have been mad because I stood online for my Ronald McDonald toys.
Facts.
You know?
So that actually kind of explains, and I could be wrong here, but this is just me speculating. What I know about Harlem, especially the culture, is that they're very stylish. It's always been that way. So I guess you have a little bit of a Harlem flair to you going on as well.
So we get it from Dapper Dan, but that's where it originally came from. And shout out to Dapper Dan out there, because he still walks around the streets of Harlem like as a regular. Like, he'll just go walk to the bodega, walk back, walk this and everything. So you got to be like a person in Harlem, raised in Harlem, to recognize who he is. But me, I get my style more, my generation of Dipset, Cameron, Jim Jones, Jules Santana, the whole Dipset crew and all that stuff, because, they was the ones in front and center besides Wu-Tang Clan, which brought into the jeans and the clothes and Timbs and all that. Dipset just brought it to a more fashion wear. Yeah. Where we could walk the runway like this and be accepted, you know what I mean? So I very get my style from more from my brother, because my brother was a person out in the street hanging out and stuff like that. So he will always be wearing the Timbs. He will always be wearing the Parasuco jeans. He will always wear Perry Pele, Avirex, all the stuff that was dripping in Harlem at that time. So then you got his little brother, which is me, and I always looked up and admired my brother still today. And I just basically used that and brought it to my style, which I'm like more into like the nerdy stuff and everything. So I would go to Chinatown, grab the button-down Dragon Ball Z shirts, mix it up with some Perry Peles, throw some Timbs on, throw some White Uptowns. White Uptowns is white Nikes that be selling out all the time.
Right.
Yeah, I need to stop selling out all the time because I need my sneakers ASAP right then and there.
Yeah. So, did you before we get into the styles and everything, because there are some things that I'm curious about, but what I want to go right now in this particular moment is when you were growing up in the Bronx and living in Harlem and everything like that, did you already know what kind of dreams and aspirations you wanted to do, or did everything that you're doing right now kind of just fall into place on its own organically?
So growing up in the hood, right, we adapt to a certain lifestyle and we think that's the way of life. So it's either you in the hood, either you going to school, listening to your parents, dodging bullies and all that stuff, or you selling something in the street that you shouldn't be doing. But then again, you don't want to be a bum. So in Harlem, because I didn't really grow up in Bronx too much, because we really like left out of there around like 8 or 7 years old. Okay. So we went to Harlem over there. So that's why I became more tougher, more aware of my surroundings and stuff like that. So it's just like Harlem like raised me to be tough but also be kind at the same time, because the difference between the Bronx and Harlem is like the Bronx is like, it's like Brooklyn. That's where all the rough rats, all the ruffians go, all the homeless go, all the drug users go and stuff like that. Where in Harlem, it's like You meet a sophisticated crackhead. You meet a sophisticated user. Like, they know they users, but they got their shit together. You understand what I'm saying? But when you go to the Bronx, you get off the train, it's all laid out. Like,
So what,
they got their priorities
They got
right.
a PhD in one hand and a crack pipe in the other one? Is that what's happening?
Exactly. So there it is. That's how it is. It's crazy,
With
but
honors.
it is.
With honors.
With honors and everything. It's like, look at my PhD. You know?
And I don't think that's the liquor talking. I think that's what it was.
It's the truth. It's the truth. So I grew up around a lot of stuff like that, especially like some of my family members who was into the streets like that. So I knew about all this stuff when I was a young kid. Like, I knew about the world around 5, 6, or 7. So I'm like absorbing everything like a sponge. You know, so I'm just taking in everything that's there, and how can I incorporate that to change, to become the person I am today. So it wasn't an easy road.
Right.
It was a hard road. You know what I mean? So as anything you do in life, you have to go through your trials and tribulations to know where you're going. And you have to know your past to know where you're going for your future. So for me, when growing up, I was, like I said, I admired my brother. I watched my brother. But my brother never let me be in the street. Like, if I'm coming after school and he on the block chilling and stuff, he'll send me upstairs, go upstairs.
Yeah.
Go upstairs. But then his friends would be like, yo, can I hang out and stuff like that? So I'm like 5 minutes there. I'm thinking I'm going to hang out. Yo, didn't I tell you go upstairs? So I went upstairs. My mom was like, what you mad about? Yo, he told me to go upstairs and all right, go do your homework. So I go do my homework and stuff like that. Because in my household, when you went to school, you got to bring grades or you won't get nothing.
Right.
No, you know what I'm saying? So
that's how
I had chores and all that. My brother and my sister never was raised like that. You know what I'm saying? We all have different fathers and stuff like that, but they was never in our lives. So my stepdad was the one in my life. He was my father figure. So he raised me, but he raised me differently than the other ones was raised. So that's why I'm so nice and so calm and cool, like gentleman vibes and all that stuff, because they raised me like that. Where my brothers and sisters come from the gritty, like the hardcore. Like, my mom would just bust you in the head with a table like we in WWE. That's how they was raised. You know what I mean? Not me. You know what I'm saying? I was raised as like, yo, you go to school, we give you whatever you want. As soon as you mess up in school, all that is gone. So is
that to say that you were the youngest of the bunch?
I'm the baby of the family.
So that makes so much sense, because you know what it is. See, I'm the oldest of 3. So there's me, my brother, and my sister.
You had it tough.
Yeah. So I always joke around, and it's serious. It's a true story, but I joke around all the time. Like, I always found it unfair. And maybe my sister had an advantage because she's a girl, where, like, if me and my brother fucked up in some way, shape, or form, we got our ass beat. But if my sister fucked up in some way, shape, or form, she had a serious talk. Yeah. So that's how it worked.
For your sister, it was reversed for me. Okay. I would get the serious talk while they get their ass.
Exactly. Yeah.
But my brother and sister, my brother was always fair with me. Not my sister. My sister straight hardcore back in the days. Like, she was born in the 70s, raised in the 80s. Okay. So she was born with a different mentality. Sure. And every time we had a fight, my brother had a fight or I had a fight, my sister go like this: if you don't fuck him up, I'm going to fuck you up. So when I had a fight with somebody, my sister hit harder than you. I'm going to fuck you up. And that was it. And then she'll go take me to the pizza shop like it was nothing. Like, all that was just natural for us, living in the hood and stuff like that. Where society look at that and be like, oh, they go those ruffians again, them Puerto Ricans acting up again. Where's they sticks and chains and all this? Hold on, Cameron, relax, yo. Here, take this pot de Leo and drink some coquito and chill out, yo. Learn something, you know what I mean? We not all violent, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So,
but you know what's interesting also? So I don't exactly. I'm not going to be rude and ask you what your age is, but I think that you.
It's fine. It's fine. People be shocked. Please. So now I'm 41. God bless.
Okay. All right. So
I know I look like 30 something going to. I know.
All right. So we're not that far apart. I'm only 30. I'll be 39 in May.
Was that a clap?
Yes, it was.
Thank you for that. The fountain of youth is in Vicks. Okay.
Hey, Montevixi, yeah.
That's it. Yo, it cures everything.
Yeah. But here's what I'm getting at. So I grew up in the 90s, and I grew up in a certain time where. What's interesting is that if I was into like superheroes and like Star Trek and Star Wars and all these things that is pretty popular now with Comic-Con and stuff like that.
Long and prosper.
Yeah. So, but like if you were into that kind of shit back then you were like a loser, you're a weirdo, you're soft, you're a pussy, all that stuff. That's why you'll never get bitches, anything like that. Now, it's not uncommon to see even the prom king being a fan of fucking anime now. Like they could be the biggest Dragon Ball Z fan in the world, and they're the most popular person in the world. Where back in my day, if you like that shit, you got an ass beat.
That's true. So I grew up like that too myself. So besides hanging out in the neighborhood and stuff like that, I was the nerd in the neighborhood. So I used to go to Chinatown all the time.
Yeah,
because I wasn't afraid to leave my neighborhood. I like my brothers here, my sisters here, my whole family here. Then I can't do shit privately because then they'll know. You know, in the Spanish family, you can't hide shit. Eventually, it's going to get exposed. So I used to sneak off, and I used to go to Chinatown by myself. I learned how to use the train. I got lost a couple of times. There was a comic book shop behind where I used to live at. It was associated with Midtown Comics. I forgot the name of the comic book store because that's when they closed down. That's when I went to Midtown Comics when they opened up in '97. So I was already traveling, going downtown and stuff like that. And people ain't care if I was a kid. I didn't even look like a kid. I looked like a 15-year-old football player.
Yeah.
You know, but traveling, going there and there. So
we also pretty brolic dude too. So
I mean, I go to the gym and work out. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay fit. Especially now I'm on the foodie tour where I have to be in the gym. I have to work out and stuff like that because that food is fattening and stuff like that. So it's delicious. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
I ain't fitting looking good. You know what I'm saying? So, but I just love it. You know what I'm saying? So I work out, be consistent, but I learned all that from a famous person. But let me get back to what I was saying.
Yeah, we'll get
So I was the nerd in the hood. I was the gangster nerd. I was listening to Tupac, Biggie, Pun, and everything while reading the manga of Dragon Ball Z at that time, the cell games, right? So I had the clothes, I had the outfit, I had the talk. I dated Asian women, I dated Spanish women that was into stuff like that. So I was very already out there, and people noticed that. I was the guy that had the Dragon Ball Z tape for you on bootleg. I was the guy who had the animes that came out, and I was making my money, $5 in this. I dressed myself. I took care of myself because that's the way my parents raised me. Now, when I started getting all these clothes and all this stuff and all these toys and these collectibles, here come my mom and dad. Come here. Sit down. Where you getting all this from? Because they think now I'm selling drugs and stuff like that.
Right.
And I'm like, nah, Mom, I'm selling Dragon Ball Z. What is Dragon Ball Z? Is that a new slang for you kids? I'm like, no, Ma, this is what Dragon Ball Z is. So
is that what they're calling it now?
That's what they're calling it now, you know? Pop up a Kamehameha or stuff like that, you know? Because at that time in the 90s, a lot of ecstasy was going on.
Right.
So they used to have ecstasy like in pill forms of like, represent like DC and Marvel character symbols like the Flash, Wonder Woman.
That's crazy.
So they dabbled off into the Dragon Ball. So they had a couple of ecstasies of Dragon Ball. So that's when my parents thought where it came from. And they thought, and then they pulled my brother into the room. And they was like, yo, what you doing? They was like, nah, that's on his own. I didn't even know he was doing that stuff. So I was basically hustling, but the legit way. You know what I'm saying? So everybody in the neighborhood knew to come to me because I had all the anime drip. I had all that stuff for them.
Yeah, so whether it was legal or illegally, it didn't matter because at the end of the day, you had a hustle in your blood.
And that's where Harlem comes in. Harlem
exactly.
raised us like that
exactly
to be hustlers. You know, you got to find your way. Once you find your way, you just go.
Yeah.
You know, so that was me right there. I was the guy. And still today in my neighborhood who remembers that stuff is like, Dan, I remember like, yo, you used to give me the tapes and all that stuff. So that's that's appreciation to me right there.
Right. And, you know, one of the things that I find very, very fascinating. Like you hear about stories like this all the time, but you rarely ever get to see it or meet somebody of that ilk where the reason why you've been so giving and why you're so charitable and so nice and everything is because you get it from your mother. You know, I remember reading somewhere,
that's my best friend, man,
or seeing somewhere where your mother was the type of person that, you know, if God forbid somebody needed a place to stay, they were just out in the streets. Like she would welcome them with open arms. The door was always open. It was an open door policy, and that was just the way that she was. She was a very nurturing, giving person, and she bestowed that unto you. I don't know about your siblings, but it was certainly bestowed unto you, and it's definitely seeped over into your career even now.
So my mom's always been like that. We're a Puerto Rican family, you know what I'm saying? So we all learned this from our grandmother because our grandmother had like 16 kids, then grandkids. I'm not going to do the math because we're going to just sit here all day. So once she figured that out, once my grandmother did that, then my aunts learned that. But my mom's was like a split image of my grandmother. Shout out to Mama Yenishon. I miss you all the time. So she taught them that, and then she taught us that. You know, so my brothers and sisters, they do that too. But they more like hesitant, like who comes around, because they know who's really who. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I open the door. You need to get your shit together. There's a floor right there. I got a couch right there. I got a blanket and a pillow. You know what I'm saying? It's food in the fridge. When you get a little bit of money, put some food in the fridge. Like, we just teach you how to rebuild yourself. And once you rebuild yourself, it's like pushing the bird off the tree. Now it's time for you to fly. You know what I'm saying? So, and then there'd be some family members that don't fly. They just fall to the ground. So that's when you know the difference between who's an achiever and who needs a little bit more time to fly. So I always learned that. So I incorporated that in my business of when I meet people. I was like, this person could fly. This person may need time to fly, develop more, you know, before they could spread their wings and just really take off. So that's where I come in as an influencer now, and I help others out there. I work for a convention. We just started the whole new influencers thing. I'm the top influencer. I'm teaching everybody how this works, how to get yourself out there, how to market yourself.
Round of applause.
You know what I'm saying? So I was taught to teach like that and to help others by my mentor, Jason David Frank. If you don't know who Jason David Frank is, it's the Green
Legend.
Power Ranger.
The Green Power Ranger.
You know what I'm
Rest in
saying?
peace.
The great rest in peace all day, every day. So I rep him all the time, everywhere I go. I wouldn't succeeded to who I am right now if it wasn't for his guidance and teaching.
And it wasn't just somebody that you were a fan of. Like, this was somebody that had a big significant part of your life. Like, he was like, you guys were on a first name basis the whole nine.
So when I met him, first time I met him was on TV, of course.
Yeah.
Grew up watching Power Rangers. That was my novela. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
That was my soap opera.
Yeah, I was. Oh my God, I was the biggest Power Ranger fan at the time. Me and my brother, my sister.
Who was your favorite?
Well, obviously I was Jason, so I was the Red
Yeah.
Ranger. My brother was the Green Ranger. He was a huge fan of Tommy's.
Yeah.
That was his guy right there. So
That's dope. That's dope. That's Jason, who's also St. John. I see him out there in the conventions all the time. They still look the same, but just older.
Yeah, and you can't. I don't know a single guy, and even women for that matter, in this day and age, that didn't have a crush on Kimberly.
Yeah,
That was everybody's
I wasn't the
childhood
one.
crush.
I wasn't the one.
Were you Trini?
I was into
You went to
Asian
Trini? You
grizzly.
went to Trini.
I went to Trini, so that's why I was always in Chinatown. I had yellow fever,
Rest in peace to Trini.
Right, it's just a Trini right there. Very down to earth person, man.
Even though I never understood why the black guy was a black ranger and the Asian girl was a yellow ranger, but
So-
we didn't need to go down that road.
I'll do it. So Power Rangers at that time when they're developing everything, you know, they wanted to match colors with culture. Which is racist now. You can't do that. So we got to talk about it there. Plus, they was giving like that high school feel to it, of like 90210, meet like alien fighters and stuff. So you know they had the black guy who was dancing and stuff, stereotyping. They had the Asian girl
Everybody
doing
has
kung
the
fu.
stereotype, yeah.
You know they had Green Ranger who was the outsider. He was the loser and stuff, but really he wasn't.
He was a rebel, yeah.
You had the Red Ranger who was the jock, and then you had Kimberly who was the Pink Ranger, but she was the cheerleader. She was the school, like, you know, white girl, stuff like that. And you had Billy, who was the nerd one, and that was awkward, you know? So all of them together helped me develop who I am because they taught me teamwork, friendship, be respectful to your elders, be professional of anything you do, and always be kind. Always be kind because it doesn't cost you a fucking thing to be kind to someone.
Yeah.
A hi, a hello, how you doing can change a person's mindset right then and there.
And, you know, I'll be transparent with you. Like, I'm trying to be that person, but I still have a little bit of that part in me where I have a little bit of trouble giving people the grace, for lack of a better term, of, you know, saying hello, shaking hands, whatever. And it's not because I'm trying to be an asshole. It's because believe it or not, it may not seem like it now because I have a podcast and I do other things on a camera and a microphone. But there was a time where I had really, really bad social anxiety and I was an extremely shy person and people would take that as an affront. But in reality, I just always felt like the shy little awkward kid who was even nervous about how I would even shake a person's hand, like how awkward that would feel, or if I didn't do it correctly and how would they judge me. So no, that was something that I had to deal with a long time. And I feel like I shed it for the most part, but I guess I'm just saying that kind of just to bring awareness out to people out there that may be misunderstood if they come off a little socially awkward, because I was that person at one point.
Well, we in the year of the snake, so all you was doing just shedding
You were
your
the
skin.
third person that has mentioned that this
You
year.
shedding your skin. You know what I'm saying? So as a snake, what happens after a while? They shed their skin and it starts off a new jersey. So that's what you was doing along your path until now. You were just shedding these layers that was toxic over you, but the universe is trying to put you straight and you listening to it. That's all it is, bro.
Yeah, and it's what's I would say the biggest.
It's okay to be an asshole, but it be a cool asshole. So one thing my pops ever always taught me, and I use it still today, always show respect, even if the person don't show you respect, because it show you that you're a better person. Always keep your chin up high.
And you know what? We'll get into that in a little bit, but I just want to say the quote that I thought you were going to say, which is actually a quote that I use all the time, is "I'm an asshole, but I'm not a fucking asshole."
There you go. Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, and that actually makes a lot of sense.
Assholes live forever, by the way.
And everybody has one anyway. So yeah, just like opinions. But it's so funny how you mentioned that, because I recently had to deal with something where it was a situation where a person that I thought was my dear friend, and like we had each other's bags, we always support each other and everything. But long story short, I won't get into it, but too much. But long story short, there was some things that were probably said about me that weren't exactly correct, and they just, it's a sense of just people wanted to believe whatever they want to believe, and it shows their true colors at the end of the day. And they basically just decided to cut me out of their life for whatever reason. And the growth that I experienced in this moment is, if this was a situation that happened to me a year or two ago, then I would try to get to the bottom of it and try to salvage or whatever was going on, because obviously there's miscommunication and a lot of false narratives that are out there. But now I'm at a point right now where, like, you know what? I just feel like that's just going to be drain me too much of my time and my energy and my effort. If you want to believe that, that's fine, because at the end of the day, I know the truth. And if you don't want to follow the truth, then that's your problem. So I'm not going to lose any sleep over it. And I'm just going to have to continue to do what I'm doing, because whatever you think of me anyway doesn't affect what I'm doing personally.
Yeah, as long as you got that mutual respect, it was like, you went this way, I go this way, I go my way, you go your way. Mm-hmm. As long as it's some type of like mutual respect right there, in a business way and in a professional way. You know what I'm saying? Because when you come into the office, you gotta leave all that personal shit out the window.
Right. And I was always the type of person that, like, oh well, fuck them. I don't give a fuck about them or anything. Now I'm just like, nah, like, I don't have any hate towards these people at all. Like, if they were to see me in person,
it don't hurt to say hi.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like, if they stuck their hand out, I'll shake it. I'm not gonna be fuck out of here.
I mean, I go through that all the time in the world I'm at, and especially the position I'm at right now, because now they coming after me, and I love it. Because I want the smoke. I want the smoke. You know what I'm saying? I'm dead. We in the room, man. It's a bonfire going in here. So what I learned is, and through my developing and stuff like that with people like that, is just like, at a certain point when there's no more communication and everything, but we still have to work in the same environment. Hey, how you doing? Mm-hmm. That's the start of a conversation that could lead to like being peace, make peace with each other. Or just work in the workplace, like, hey, how you doing? Hey, Bob. Hey, Cindy. How you doing? And stuff. That's it. Just walk away. You don't got to get personal. Even if y'all was personal together and stuff like that, that person forgot about that. I advise you to forget about that too. And just like, you just got to find a way of move on in a peaceful way. Even if that person doesn't want to be peaceful with you and they done and all that, you have to accept that and just move on.
Right. Now, I have a question that just kind of popped in my head, and I feel like there's a chance I might have to give an apology in advance. So, describing how I am, how I'm trying to shed off, some of these layers of me that don't fit me anymore, don't serve me anymore. I do remember when I first met you, but just out of curiosity, and maybe there's an apology that needs to be owed here, but did I in any way come off as like kind of standoffish, or like I wasn't interested in meeting you, or I felt like an obligation? Because if that was the case, it wasn't, and if it came off that way, then I apologize.
Well, it was a lot of weed and liquor pass, so I kind of don't remember. Okay. Plus, I think we was doing karaoke that night.
Probably.
So all the women, of course, I would be around all the women. And they'll have me singing karaoke. I wasn't the great karaoke person I am now, because I didn't know words. So I was just like, I was just humming in the words. So the girls had to come help me. But other than that, not really. You just a normal dude to me.
Okay. All right.
I was just vibing out with the women.
Yeah.
I'm very flirty with the ladies at that time. You know what I'm saying? So,
because unfortunately, I'm a person that still suffers a little bit from a guilt complex, and I'm trying to shed that off as well.
Well, I respect that to bring that up and stuff like that, but me and you, we ain't got no personal issues like that. I'm a positive person. My name is RX Superstar. I'm here to give you a daily dose of positivity.
Right, and actions always speak louder than words, and you being on the show is the action, because I honestly think that you wouldn't be on the show if you probably have much better things to do with your time than just show up on a podcast that you don't want to be on.
If you wanted to invite me to your podcast,
right,
I'm there.
Exactly.
Because you sat there and thought about me. Mm-hmm. You took time out of your personal whatever you was doing, and you sat there and thought, and then I'm here now. I'm here now on his show, and we chopping it up. I don't even know what episode is this, but I'm here.
167.
What we doing? We drinking the Jameson. We toasting it to his dad.
Yeah, I think we might need a
toasting it to
refill.
my dad.
I think I might
You know
need
what
a
I'm saying?
refill, actually.
We going. I don't know. I got to drive.
Well, me too. So let me
I gotta
let me stop
drive.
before I get myself in trouble.
That's another thing about me is like I'm always make sure safety first.
Yeah.
When it comes to drinking, because I lost one of my best friends when I was younger. So she died of a car accident, like, and the car flipped over 5 times and she didn't make it. So when I found that out, it was devastating to me, and still today it bothers me today. And you know, that was my first girlfriend, my first love, everything, and then for the world to rip her away from me like that, it just left me with just like an emptiness. But along through time, I learned to ease it, forgive the Lord, accept the Lord, always remember her, and that's all I could say about that. You know.
Well, so I wasn't going to get into the subject just quite yet, but you kind of opened the floodgates with it, and I think I personally feel it's the perfect time to bring it up.
Yeah, let's break the dam.
So, one of the things that fascinates me about people like you know, the ones that radiate positivity and this great energy and just having just all this positivity around them and, you know, spreading them out, because, you know, we need more of that in the world. However, one of the things that fascinates about people like that is that at the end of the day, listen, we're all human. So I know that, you know, if you happen to, you know, get a paper cut, you're going to bleed just like me. So, and it kind of like me also being an actor, I know about the sad clown effect.
Yeah.
Or some of the like, perfect example, Robin Williams.
Yes.
Robin Williams was a perfect example because one of the most heartbreaking things to me was he was able to make everybody in the world laugh and have joy, but the only person he couldn't bring it to was himself.
Yeah.
And unfortunately ended up taking his life, and rest in peace to the GOAT. But knowing you're human and you exude this positivity and all this great stuff and everything, but I also know that you're human at the end of the day, and I know that it's not always that the case. Like, there may be some pain or sadness that you hide behind those shades and behind that skin of your face, and you know, you compartmentalize it, you do whatever you have to do. But I also like the fact how you're exuding this positivity, but you're also bringing balance. You're bringing awareness to what people may be doing, you know, unfortunately, like suffering in silence.
Yeah. So I'm a Libra, so we naturally have to be the balance.
Okay.
We're outside of ourselves to someone else, or the inside of ourselves within. So I experienced that myself. I experienced real death when my dad died.
Right.
So I found my dad. You know what I'm saying? It was right after WrestleMania. It was the night WrestleMania. It was the Raw after WrestleMania, Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania. So I got to watch my dad. I got to watch WrestleMania with him the last time in Monday Night Raw. That's when Stone Cold came back and fought Kevin Owens. He got to see his favorite wrestler one more time. So that's a cherished moment I will always have with my dad. That was the first time I really experienced death. Like, damn, my dad is gone, and I was holding my dad, hugging him, kissing him. You know what I'm saying? I don't kiss men. You know what I'm saying? But that's my dad. You know what I'm saying? He raised me and all that stuff, and I miss him. And he was gone. And then after that, a few months later, my mentor dies of, like, Robin Williams committed suicide, Jason David Frank. And that was devastating right there for me. That was like, what the fuck? It's like my dad's gone, now my mentor's gone? What the fuck is going on? And what's crazy is that prior to that day I spoke to him, I was at a convention of Anime NYC, which is also the convention where I'm the first Puerto Rican Latin male to be featured at an anime convention, and this is one of the biggest conventions and everything. So, you know, that's a big accomplishment, and I wish my dad was there and he was there, but they was watching me from heaven with my grandma.
Agreed. So
later on, a year later, my grandma dies. My grandma died 3 days after my birthday, after my 40th birthday. And before she died, she sang to me. My grandma always called me and sing to me. And she sings happy birthday in Spanish. So that was, see, I'm getting emotional now. Abuelita, I love you. And that's my grandmother. And for her to sing that song to me will always be a blessing to me. And you know what I mean? I was always her favorite. Out of all her grandkids, she always encouraged me more because I'm the loner. I don't ask nobody for nothing. I don't bother nobody. I don't go to nobody's house, nothing. And I'm always invited everywhere.
Yeah.
The reason is that because my mom's was everything. Grandmother, grandparent, aunt, uncle, best friend, betrayed. Your mother's going to be the first person to betray you and show you all that stuff. So what I'm saying right now is, James, take notes down and all that stuff. Your mother or whoever raised you is going to be the first person in your life to give you heartbreak, disappointment, congratulations, encouragement, everything. So if you have somebody in your life like that and they have a certain, where they get sick later on, you better take care of them. You better take care of them because they bust their ass for you to be where you at now. And I thank all my success, and I always praise Jason David Frank, but it's really my mom's. And I give kudos to her because if it wasn't for her and giving me those 4 gifts of life, if you don't mind if I mention them.
No, go ahead.
So the first gift my mom gave me was photography, which is a camera. Mm-hmm. She gave me a camera to capture all the moments. The second gift she gave me was music, which is when she played everything. So that's how I became a DJ first. If anybody don't know, you could Google it too. RX was a DJ at one point.
Right.
And I got so far that I worked for Hot 97, one of the biggest music franchise in history of hip-hop, whatever genre music. You know what I'm saying? So
it's in history.
That's where I learned all this character development and stuff like that, you know? Mm-hmm. So then the next gift was literature. So she was like, damn, how can I, help my son understand words and stuff like that? Because I had a hard time reading, and she gave me my first comic book, which was the Fantastic Four.
Nice.
Which is the movie coming out now, and I'm excited to see that. Mm-hmm. They better do it right, and I know they're going to do it right.
I feel confident because I saw the trailer, and I'm even excited for it.
Yeah, I ain't going to lie. It took it back in time where it was supposed to be at that time because their technology was so advanced because in the 60s, nobody thought about stuff like that.
Right.
Flying car, a dog with a jetpack, a stretch man, a rock guy, stuff like that. So that was way advanced. So... And then the last gift my mom ever gave me was friendship because my mother, and I still say it today, my mother's my first friend and will always be my last friend. And I take that to the heart. You know what I mean? So I use those 4 gifts still today, and I go around podcasts, schools, wherever they want me at to go speak, I go speak, and I always give those 4 things. And I always encourage people out there and kids out there, if those tools can help you out in life and what I said can help you out in life, I did my job as the way I was trained and built to do on earth. Is to be positive and spread it around.
Round of applause. Yep, there you go.
Thank you.
Now, if you don't mind me just probing a little deeper here, if I may,
go ahead.
you feel uncomfortable, just stop me at any time.
No, it's all right, yo. I'm just send you the hospital bill.
Yeah. So, but just out of curiosity, because I know people that are like you, and they probably have gone through whatever you've gone through, but in those moments, in those vulnerable moments, if you will, where maybe you're not feeling like yourself, where you're the vulnerability of being a human is hitting you, and you have to take time to yourself, or whatever the case may be. Like, what is your process? Like, what do you go through to get back to where you gotta be?
I'm a workaholic, so my mind is always racing like Dexter's Laboratory. You know what I'm saying? He was always in the lab creating this, creating that. So that's basically me. I'm always creating this, creating that. So I really don't get no sleep. If I fall asleep, it'd be like we talking right now and then. Like on some big pun thing, you know what I mean? So my mind is always resting, you know what I mean?
The skit on the
remember the movie, the documentary he had when he was talking to the guy, he just and they just let him be. They just let him be. So my mind is always racing. That's how, like he said earlier, I go viral and all that stuff because the mechanics in my mind is just keep going, keep growing, keep winding up, so I don't get no rest. And then when I do get rest, man, I treasure it because it's like, man, I get to sit there and just relax and I just get to chill. And I just get to like push the content away, put this away, and I just get to be me. So being me is basically like I pick up a video game or I just watch a show that I like that I don't have to watch because of the field I'm in. Right. I'm actually going to watch a show that I want to watch, that I want to enjoy while eating my turkey sandwich. You know what I'm saying? So that's another thing, too. I can't really eat what I want to eat because I'm always going off to the next food review. Yeah. So I got to prepare myself. So I'm on like a diet and stuff with meal preps. I hate meal preps.
Oh my God, I had this conversation with somebody the other day.
It's brutal, meal preps. Bro. It's just brutal, but it's like it's here. It's all in the mind. It's just there. You guys gotta believe that meatloaf and mashed potatoes and broccoli is a big turkey Thanksgiving dinner, or you at the 5-star hotel restaurant, you eating like a big T-bone steak, bloody drip, and then you just drink some wine with that. You know what I'm saying? We gotta train ourselves from the Matrix. That has already programmed us.
That kind of reminds me of that scene in Hook where they're in Neverland with the Lost Boys, and they're imagining all this food when it's actually nothing there, but it's like big ass turkey and mashed potatoes and pumpkin pie and all this other shit.
Different color mashed potatoes. Who the hell made a purple or yellow or orange mashed potato? Then as you get older, you start discovering it's like, oh shit, it's really food like that, and it tastes real good. The yellow mashed potato is actually yams.
There you go.
Sweet potato. So and then the red mashed potato is really beet juice, Dominican style and stuff like that. So you never notice none of that until you get older and stuff. So shout out to Robin Williams and the Lost Boys. I love that movie, Peter Pan.
Yeah.
Hook.
Hook. There you go. Yeah. So obviously you mentioned that you've went viral. You've done.
I just went viral the other day.
Yeah,
from the fashion show I was just in.
Yeah, but here's the point that I'm getting at though. So there's a lot of people, especially kids nowadays, where they want to be viral. They want to be an influencer. They want to do this. They want to do that, and it's just the culture that we live in now. And one of I feel, and you could correct me on this. One of the things that I think is a big misconception is, you don't have to have thousands and thousands of followers, even though you do, to go viral. What really matters, and like I see people, they go crazy where they have to focus on the time that the algorithm works and all this stuff. And that's fine. Maybe that has something to do with it. But I see people bend over backwards to go ahead to try to get this viral fame for vanity reasons. But when it comes to you, and you know, again, correct me if I'm wrong, but it's not so much about how much of people are following you, but it's just the fact of you staying consistent. Like if you just keep on doing it and not worry about what certain time that you got to put it out there because of the algorithm, just put the stuff out there, because eventually people are gonna land, they're gonna see it and they're gonna roll with it, and then it's just gonna have the snowball effect and so on and so forth. So it seems, long story short, it seems like the things that you have done to go on viral weren't even meant to go for viral purposes. It was just you being yourself, and it just took a life of its own. And I think that if more people had that mentality, then they wouldn't have to kill themselves just for vanity reasons of going viral.
Well, he just described it right there.
Okay.
He just described it all right there. But it's just like he said, you have to be consistent, because that is a content creator. That's the difference between an influencer and a content creator. A content creator is consistent. Consistency is one of the keys that will get you there. Shout out to Jason David Frank, because he said it to me and he wrote it in a video that I always play every year. He said, "You are the key." What is a key? A key has layers. Each layer unlocks the door, just like in life. Once you put that key through, what happens? The door opens. What happens when the door opens? You walk through. What happens when you walk through? You become the motherfucking superstar, and you just take over that whole room. You let everyone know in that room, I'm here to change the game, and whoever wants to be in this room can stay in this room. Whoever don't want to be in this room can go out there, and I'll lock the door with the same key. And that's what he always told me. You are the key, my friend. You are the key. So ever since he said that, and then he put a video out there, I just spread in that message, because it's true what he says. When you develop in any field you in, you develop layers like an onion or anything, or the Jameson bottle. You need stuff to make that drink, so that drink could be good and stuff like that. So that's the way people are and everything. You just got to make people in that room, what I mean is like that world, feel comfortable about you. You don't want them to feel negativity about you, because you're not going to go nowhere. So you have to give a personality. You have to have charisma. And I think wrestling for that too, because wrestling teaches you charisma, how to carry yourself, how to talk to people, how to do all this and everything. So you have to be consistent. And the difference between an influencer is more like a TV host, somebody that's a personality that's on the camera, on this, on that. Like, he's the face of the company. So I became the face of the world I'm in. You know what I mean? Everyone recognized me and all that. And I was feeling down. I was feeling depressed because I retired recently. Because I got tired. I needed to recharge. I didn't burn out, but I just felt like I want to stop because I got other thoughts in my mind. I want to travel more and stuff like that. So one day I just went to Vegas, do a charity that I do over here. And I normally don't do that. I let people know where I'm going and stuff like that so they could prepare me over there. Nah, got my shit and just went, and I'll see how far this could go. Because you got to know yourself outside of this shit. Outside of social media, you got to know if you really out there in the streets. So you got to do things that's outside the box. So I was like, all right, I'm not going to tell nobody. I'm just land in Vegas, hook up with my peoples. What happens? I met it to somebody in the Vegas Strip that they dance and stuff and they do in New York. Is that RX Superstar in fucking Vegas? And they go like this. This man is famous. This man is famous. This man is famous. And I'm just like, shh. So here go all the white people looking at me with their cowboy hats. And I'm like, yeah, I'm famous. Shh. I got to go. I'll see y'all later. So I dipped into the Walgreens that was there. And I just walked around. There was 3 people following me. They was with their cameras and stuff. And I'm like, yo, this motherfucker really did that shit. So when I came out, this little girl came up to me. She's like, you famous? I was like, yes, what can I do for you? Can I have your autograph? And I take a picture? So I took a picture with the whole family.
Nice.
And then I went about my way. And that's it. I went to the dispensary, got me some weed. And then I just smoked on the Strip because I love Vegas. You could do stuff like that. You could drink, you could smoke, you could chill. I don't condone drugs. You do it on your own. If you feel like on your own, don't ever let nobody peer pressure you or force you to do anything you don't want to do.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And if you have a problem that you can't defend yourself, go join the martial arts and karate chop a motherfucker and judo flip them. Straight like that. Judo flip somebody will change their whole life. We going around the world, Papi.
Now, going back to the social media stuff, like, do you believe being an influencer and being very much in the culture, do you feel that do you feel like social media addiction is a real thing? And if so,
Yeah.
what are some of the precautions and the detriments of that?
The social media has become one of the biggest addictions because we can't put it down.
Mm-hmm.
That's just a natural thing. Like before social media, what it was before that? Video games. We're all addicted to video games.
Comic books, all that stuff.
Comic books, all that stuff. But everybody wasn't into comic books.
True.
Because people couldn't read. But people could pick up a controller and mash buttons and look on the screen. So when you look at Street Fighter, when you look at Smash Brothers, when you look at stuff like that, that right there, we was already developing for social media. They got to remember, and we might get in trouble for this, and the powers that be.
Go ahead, fuck it.
They've been training us since the fucking 80s. Since ColecoVision came out, they've been training us. It was a big-ass controller like this. Looks like a remote.
I remember.
With numbers from 1 to 9.
I remember that shit.
And a little joystick on top that broke all the time. And that was our first real automatic game system right there. And we were just playing it. Remember, every game system, every phone, everything we have that technology use, it's a computer. It's a computer. You can reset it and put a virus. So we was already developing as a society already that social media was coming. That's why we're the generation that started it. We know it, and then here comes the new generation taking it to another level. But while we're still watching them to make sure they don't go and do something bad, you know what I mean? Like go viral of shooting themselves in the head, or going viral drinking poison, or going viral disrespecting a woman, going viral disrespecting the kid. That's a way that people go viral and they make their money, but that's not the way. No. That is harming yourself, and that's harming society. Mm-hmm. That is a bad image, and that's something I will not condone in my content creating at all. I might slap you, but it be in a fun way. You know what I'm saying? Like we sparring.
Like, give me some powder.
You know what I'm saying? Give me some powder. There you go. Give me some baby powder, like in How High.
Yep, exactly.
Give me some baby powder. Come on with it. That's what he said, right? Come on with it. Bye.
Love that fucking movie.
No, I love How High.
But so you do feel like it's an addiction, but like, what about detriments? Because I feel like I've known people in my life that they don't want to admit that they have a social media problem. Mm-hmm. And usually when it comes to addiction, one of the first signs is denial. Now, I'm not saying it's bad as like drugs or anything like that. That's a whole nother story.
That's just a human nature of denying shit like that.
But I also feel like, me personally, I think a detriment is they're a distortion of reality where they have a hard time deciphering reality from what they see on a screen. And when things don't happen, like, I guess what I'm trying to get at is we live in a society now where somebody could put a lot of hard work or even just minimal work into doing a reel, and then afterwards they only get like 6 or 7 likes, if that, and it ruins their whole fucking day.
Yeah.
Like, they can't go on.
You can't. My experience in that is you can't. One thing, those numbers gonna psych you out. Just be yourself. Make your content out there. Sooner or later, people gonna start watching you. Sooner or later, your numbers are gonna go up. You might not be a famous person that just start off just like that and get like 100 views like Cardi B or stuff like that. You gotta be realistic with yourself. You gotta be real. If you're not realistic with yourself, then you just beating around the bush and you just bullshitting yourself. And I always say this to people, and I still say this to people. If you're on social media and you constantly on it, and if you're not making no money, or you're not doing guest appearance, or you're not doing this, like going to events and being hosted or being recognized, you wasting your fucking time, and you need to go back to the drawing board and find out what you really in this for. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a podcaster and he develops and other stuff, but his main thing is a podcast. So he needs social media for that, to make his audience and new audience aware. Me, I need social media because I'm RX Superstar, but it does become addictive, and you have to learn to balance yourself out. That's where the Libra comes in. So you just have to balance yourself out. Sometimes, that's why they have on social media a time limit. Get off for a while, unplug, because if you constantly on it, you're not going to be able to develop new and creative ideas. And you have to have that to be a content creator, and that's what a content creator is. Consistency, and that's a part of all of that. And that's what separates the content creator from the influencer. Because the influencer is just to sit there and look pretty like we are. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it is right there. Where a content creator, he just comes in, consistent. He got like 5 videos already done before he left that studio.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah. No, and listen, like, I don't knock anybody from wanting to do that kind of stuff, but I'm just simply saying, don't get lost in the sauce, because I've seen it happen where people like I said, they only get like maybe minimal likes because that's what they're chasing, and then afterwards it ruins their day. Don't let that be the reason why you're doing it. Do it for like
the passion.
Yeah, like, listen, bro.
It's like the 4 P's that Jason David Frank told me, right? Is the 4 P's. I'm trying to remember the 4 P's because I can't remember right now. We drinking too much Jameson. You know what I'm saying? So. But one of the 4 P's I'm gonna tell you is people always look for profit.
Yeah.
You can't expect profit if you don't have the passion for it. Once you have the passion for it and you're consistent with it, everything falls into place. Now, if you go for the profit first, you're gonna be broke because you lost the passion of it. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of people that I see just fall through the cracks, be broke through all this and everything, trying to be something they not. Even I go through that. We're like, oh, he's not really like that in real life. No, I'm like this off camera and on camera. This is me head to toe. You know what I'm saying? This is me head to toe. I'm a cool guy, and I'll still bust you inside your head. Like, don't play with me. I'm a nerdy guy and stuff like that, but I will, like I said, judo flip you, and you will go around the world. I was trained by the Green Ranger. I don't condone violences, but I defend myself as well. And that's why I wear green, to represent that green energy. Yeah. And the green energy is always attracting, especially like Ted DiBiase, money, 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 money.
Yeah. Well, that's actually a good segue, because now you could plug whatever you got going on with Ogre Up right now.
Ogre Up all day. So that's me, the Ogre. I'm Shrek's cousin. You know what I'm saying? I get that all the time.
Yeah, and you get layers like Shrek all the time.
All the time, because that's like a swamp. A swamp, and it's the swamp. Oh, man, that's my bodega, too. It's a swamp. So when you go online, welcome to my swamp. It's a bodega. You could go get some RS Superstar merchandise. You know what I mean? Support me. It keeps me keep going and keep growing. Shout out to all my sponsors out there. You know what I mean? Especially Midnight Craft, who did this custom money green suit for me to be on today's show because that's how first class people do.
That's a plug right there. I appreciate that.
But I did promise him I was going to tell him about the character. So there's a character on here called the Hourglass, right?
Yeah.
So this is the Valentine's Day drip. You know what I'm saying? Because Valentine's Day is coming up and stuff. Shout out to everybody. Valentine. If you ain't got a Valentine's, hit me up. I got you.
Well, this episode will come out after Valentine's Day, so I hope you guys had a great Valentine's. But either way, yes.
Make sure you ain't pick out in chocolates, and make sure you ain't make your boyfriend broke. You know what I'm saying? So the hourglass symbolizes love. So you know how the hourglass after a while time goes down, the sand goes down to time, right? So that's supposed to represent like the relationship. The relationship is good in the beginning, but as soon as it gets to the middle, you don't know where you're gonna go next after that. You don't know if you're gonna break up or continue. So what he said was, you know how you fix all that? He said, turn it upside down, turn the hourglass, reset time. So basically you resetting your love from where it was in the beginning. So by him saying that, I was like, damn, that's a great collaboration. That's a great meaning for Valentine's Day. Reset the love. Reset it. They always say get the spark. Nah. I'm a video game person. We're going to reset this game, and we're going to start from the beginning and remind ourselves why we love each other and why I could stand your ass and you could stand my ass. You know what I'm saying? So,
ladies and gentlemen, in short, Ogre Up!
Ogre
Up!
Ogre Up. Speaking of Ogre Up, I gotta come give him a gift and stuff like that. Man. So you guys know me. I'm always carrying my stickers and stuff like
Jameson
that. Right?
wasn't enough, man. We got more.
Nah, we got the Jameson. I got some Ogre weed. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So whoever gives you a chance to be on a podcast or anywhere you could speak out there and get yourself out there, you always got to bless them. You always got to show hospitality and stuff like that. You don't want to go back to your parents and they see you on camera and be like, yo, who raised him? You know what I'm saying? That's not my son. I don't know him.
Mama,
so
I'm sorry.
this is my these are my stickers right here.
Oh, wow.
Those were displayed at Bronx Comic-Con Anime Expo, which I'm always a feature at. And isn't that cool that I grew up in the Bronx, even though I was raised in Harlem. I was born in the Bronx. So to come back in the convention from the Bronx and represent that's just full circle to me right there. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people can't do that. So that's why I'm that's why people always call me, because they know I came from there. I came where you came from. And then I show you could rise above all that. You know what I'm saying? You could dodge the crackheads. You could dodge the bullies. You could dodge the fast girls. You could dodge the crazy money. You know what I'm saying? You could become a positive person out of that. And I'm living proof.
Yeah. My next question was actually going to be to anybody out there that is aspiring entrepreneur or whatever they want to do with their life, and they're very passionate about it, but they feel the fear and the discouragement that comes along with it naturally. What would you say to those people that are listening and watching right now? But I think that what you just said right there was self-explanatory, and that's all that needs to be said.
We're going to add on more to that. We're going to do the Salt Bay and add the little flavor to it.
Okay, all right.
Do it now.
Let's do it.
Do it now. Start now. Right now, as we speak. Do it. Don't sucker yourself out. Don't become a sucker. Stay sucker free. Be consistent. Have a plan. Have a budget, because dreams are not free. I say that all the time. All this is not free. All this is development. All this costs. Everything has a price. You know what I'm saying? But one thing that doesn't have a price is you. Is you. Because you are that dollar bill. You are that person they're going to want. You are that person they're going to evince. Just have that motherfucking confidence. Do it. Get up. Do it. I didn't have nothing. Nothing. I had an iPhone 4. That's what started me off. I had an iPhone 4 that was more advanced than the cameras that was out now. I was grabbing the iPhone 4 and telling Dr. Doom, you want to battle? Captain America, throw me your shield to save everybody. Nobody was doing stuff like that. And plus, I was a fly dude. I always dressed nice. I always stood out. And then when I had my symbolized crown come out, it was over after that. Everybody who sees me with this crowd, wherever I go, whether it's the biggest conventions, whether it's the mom and pop conventions, once they see that hat, yo, RX Superstars here, we about to have a good time. So if you want to feel like that, or even feel like Jason and have his own podcast and sit right there and have guests that come on, What is it that you did, Jason? Just get up and do it.
And I'm glad that you said that, because one of the things that I get often asked for people that want to get into podcasting or just have an interest in it, they always ask me, the casual questions like, how can I get started? What do I do? How do you do it? Like this, that, and the third. What kind of equipment I need? At the end of the day, the only thing that I tell them is exactly what you said. Just start. Because, and I've shared this on my show before and I'll share it again. I started this podcast in my closet, in my room, because it was soundproof, and I just told myself, you know what? I just need to do this. If I don't do this now, it's never going to happen. It's not going to be perfect. It's not the way that I want to set up yet, but if I don't get this shit done now, then it's never going to happen. So I just got in the room, turned on record, did a little 5 minutes, and put it out there. And I was like, okay, I'm officially a podcaster now. Now let me continue to ride this wave. 168 episodes later now. You were here. Look where it's upgraded, and this is what it takes. So anybody that's watching this and looking out there, just start. At the end of the day, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. It doesn't have to be set the way you want it. And if anything, I would say that this is the best way to do it, because it helps you grow exponentially. I feel like I have grown as a host from the guy that was doing it in his closet to now doing it in a professional studio. If I felt like I've waited for everything to fall in place, my talent and my passion would have stayed stagnant and it wouldn't have worked out. So people, just start. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just put one foot in front of the other and go from there. That's all I have to say.
One leg at a time, putting your pants on. Don't be like me and just like, and I'm out the door. Like I said, I started with an iPhone 4, and then now we at the 16. What that tell you?
Level up.
Development, leveling up each season. Always remember, with each season, you get to develop your character and develop yourself. I'm at right now my prime, but I'm a type of person, and my friends tell me this all the time. You can't be in your prime because you're the brightest star. You will never dim, because it takes it takes all of everyone I meet to make that North Star shine. And that's why I tell everybody, it's like, you're a star, you're a star, you're a star. You're helping me shine even more, that the galaxies and multiverse can see me, So that's why I always tell people, it's just like, just do it. Yeah. You don't need it. I started off with an iPhone 4, and now I'm at the 16. Just do it. Just level up yourself. Just upgrade yourself. That's all it is, And if you don't know how to do it, there are workshops out there, As a guy who goes to convention, a workshop is called a panel. So come to the panels and learn from other people that started from the bottom. Now they hear of. I got one friend who's a panel. We call him Dr. Info. Because this guy directs us, everybody, to the transits of how to get to a convention, the safe way, the cheap way, the budget way, and all that stuff. So, and then he got a thing that's in cons called Con Survival. So you teach how to survive a con, budget yourself, make sure you don't go broke. Because in the Comic-Con world, you will go broke trying to keep up with people. And if you can't keep up with yourself, how you going to keep up with other people? So you just got to chill, be consistent, have a budget, be focused, and just go for it. And then you be living proof like me and Jason.
There you go, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. All right, so we're about to close out this episode in a little bit. We just have one final segment for our superstar. But before we get to that, I just want to say thank you for dropping your gems.
No
thank
problem,
you for your presence. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the support as well. I mean, you've been a big supporter of my show as well, and I really appreciate this. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, it's now time for everybody's favorite segment. Ladies and gentlemen, this is This or That. If you've never seen the show before, what happens is I will ask my guest here multiple choice questions. No right or wrong answers, just what you like best. And it's just an opportunity for everybody to get to know you a little bit more. All right, so are you ready, Najee?
We went from a game show host. Okay, let's go.
All right, and we ready, RX Superstar.
Do we got a buzzer? Or something?
Yeah, like I said, there's no right or wrong answers, just what you like best. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go for This or That. You, Mr. Superstar. Playlist or podcast?
I'm old school, playlist.
Okay. Slides or Crocs?
Slides.
Beach or pool?
Beach.
All right. Dogs or cats?
Dog, man. Shout out to my baby, Mary Jane. I love you.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
Shit. That's a trick question because I'm both. But I'm a night owl.
All right. Instagram or TikTok?
Instagram.
All right. To give or to receive?
Man, that's a trick question. I might get censored. Give.
All right. Are you an introvert or an extrovert?
Oh, man. Yo, you guys can't hear it, but in the back of the studio, they just laugh because it's like, oh, we got him. Shit. I'm going to leave no comment on that one.
Oh.
I got sponsors out there.
Okay, all right.
I got sponsors out there.
I'm not going to fuck up your money. Don't worry. Batman or Superman?
Shit. Shit. I might have to go with Batman.
All right. Iron Man or Captain America?
Iron Man.
All right. Mofongo or Mangu?
Oh, shit. Oh, my God. I love them both. Oh, man.
This ain't a Sophie's choice.
Oh, my God. You can just see I'm stumped on them. Grandma made mongoose. So.
Okay. All right. Are you glass half empty or glass half full?
Oh, shit. Fuck. I love you, Bruce Lee. It's always half full.
All right. Would you rather be embarrassed or be afraid?
I'll be embarrassed.
Okay.
Doesn't hurt.
Do you prefer being too hot or being too cold?
Now, that depends on the situation, you know, because if a woman walk by, I'm going to be hot. You know what I'm saying? I'm Puerto Rican, so, you know, our culture, we always around hot weather and stuff like that, so why not hot?
Okay. Do you prefer the window seat or the aisle seat?
Shit.
My man, this ain't the SATs. You're good.
Yeah, but, you know, I get the aisle.
Okay, all right.
I need to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. I need that leg room.
Yo, let me tell you, if you get caught in the middle, you fucked.
Yes.
If you next to the window, you all right because, you know, nobody want to be next to the window because you could die fast. But you got that little leg room right there. You got that little leg room like, while the middle person's like this.
Yeah.
And then the aisle person's like this, just chilling. You know what I'm saying? All they're going to do is like, sir, can you put your leg in? Can you help me put my leg in? You know? That's when you flirt with the stewardess and all that stuff. That's another story.
I feel like it's a true story. Are you book smart or street smart?
Oh, shit, both.
All right. Do you prefer reading or writing?
I like explaining.
Cardio or weights?
Cardio.
Dancing or karaoke?
Karaoke.
Drama or comedy?
Comedy. Because comedy is drama.
Do you prefer ice water or room temperature?
Damn. I like a cold drink. Oh, cold drink. We got the Jamesons in the cup cold. You know what I'm saying?
All right. And then finally, teamwork or solo project?
Teamwork.
Teamwork makes the dream work. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for this or that. That is going to do it for this episode of First Class Second Place. Thank you to my great guest, RX Superstar, for coming through. Is there anybody you want to give a shout out to really quick before we close out?
I want to give a shout out to my moms. I want to give a shout out to the whole cosplay community. I want to give a shout out to Marty. I want to give a shout out to my brother Nick. I want to give a shout out to my brother Derice. I want to give 3 more shout outs to people I can't mention, but they know who they are all day, you know what I'm saying? So, and the biggest shout out of them all, God himself. Because I wouldn't be here without listening to his wisdom that's guiding me through this awesome path that I'm on.
All right. And real quick, where can they find your social media, everything, as far as like where can they find you, man?
You could Google me. I pop up on Google.
That's when you know you official. When
you pop on Google, oh, your shit is out. It'll be like, damn, I did that? I'm like, damn, how many bottles I had? So you could Google me, RX Superstar. I'm on all platforms of social media, old, new, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Facebook Gaming, Twitch, YouTube, Kick, which is a new gaming streaming stuff. Everything. Once you Google me, it'll have a whole listing of where you can follow me and stuff, and it will show you pictures of celebrities. Excuse me, that's the Jameson. It all work. You can see with me doing stuff with other celebrities, even if you never heard them. But in my world, they're celebrities and stuff like that. And also, you get to see this show right here come out. You know what I'm saying? So stay tuned for that.
All right. Brother, thank you so much for coming through.
Thank you so much, bro. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
You're welcome, man. And ladies and gentlemen, you can find me at I am Jason Enrique on all social media platforms. Don't forget to like, subscribe on YouTube at Jason Enrique. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you next week. This has been the First Class Second Place podcast. We out.
You will always be a hero.